The woman I'm going to be speaking about today is of profound importance to me. When I was growing up, I was made fun of for being named Clara. I grew to hate my name. I just wanted to be named Ashley or Samantha. I just wanted to fit in. One day, my mom took me to the local library, and I was bound and determined to find another Clara. And I did. And this Clara, she far exceeded any expectation I had that day, and my appreciation and respect for her has only grown as I've gotten older. This Clara was not only brave and bold, she broke down all of the oppressive barriers of gender roles at the time. She went on to become one of the greatest nursing pioneers in all of history, and she went on to found the American Red Cross. This incredible woman is named Clara Barton. Clarissa Harlow Barton was born December 25th, 1812, in North Oxford, Massachusetts. She was the youngest of 5 children. Her mother despised her and ignored her, and subsequently she was raised by her older siblings and her father, whom she adored. She loved listening to her father's war stories. She excelled at school, even though she was shy and reserved. She was said to be very intelligent. When she was 11, her older brother actually fell out of a barn and had a very serious injury and became bedridden and disabled. He was bedridden for 2 years, and during this time, Clara acted as his caregiver. This is when she realized her calling. When she was 18, she ended up getting her first career as a teacher, and she excelled at that as well. She went on to start her first school, and this was for the children of her brother's mill workers. It was so successful that she went on to start her second school, and this one was in Bordertown, New York. And this school became so successful that the men in the surrounding areas became very threatened by this. And they decided to take her out of the position of principal at this school, and they put a male in her place. And at this time in history, women weren't allowed to have many jobs. They were supposed to be homemakers. Teaching was one of the few jobs that women were allowed to have, but it was not seen as okay at the time for a woman to have the role of a principal or to even start a school. So Clara was replaced by a male, and she completely rejected this idea. She hated that she was being disrespected and replaced, and so she left. She went on to move to Washington, D.C., where she became the first woman to work in the federal government at the U.S. Patent Office. There, she was harassed and persecuted for being a woman, and many of her male colleagues tried to get her fired, unsuccessfully. She was well respected by her boss, and he actually paid her the same wage as a man received. This caught the attention of many other men, and they did not like this. And so her boss at the time was fired. And when the new boss came in, he actually demoted Clara and made her a copyist, where she was only getting 10 cents per 100 words that she typed. Clara remained there until Buchanan was elected president, and Buchanan, he removed all of his opposition supporters, and Clara being one of them, she was fired at that time, and she returned home to help her siblings with their families and their children. She was completely miserable during this time because she did not like the role of being a homemaker. She wanted nothing to do with it. In 1861, Abraham Lincoln was elected president, and Clara was allowed to come back to the U.S. Patent Office. And when she returned, she took on her original role at the U.S. Patent Office. 1861 was also the year that the Civil War broke out. And one of the first battles was the Baltimore riot. And in the Baltimore riot, a lot of Clara's friends and colleagues were killed, and their bodies were shipped back on a train. And Clara was there to meet that train, and upon seeing their bodies, she was pushed to act. Clara became one of the most important battlefield nurses in the Civil War in all of history. So much so that she earned herself the name Angel of the Battlefield. She was well respected by soldiers on both sides of the war and well respected after the war. When the Civil War came to an end, Clara was able to open the Office of the Missing Soldiers, and she worked tirelessly at this. Then her doctor actually ended up recommending that she take rest and travel to Europe. And Clara took his recommendations, but she did not rest. Instead, she decided to volunteer for the International Red Cross in Switzerland, where she worked tirelessly at this. And when she returned to the United States, she decided to open or begin the American Red Cross. And she acted as president of the American Red Cross for 23 years. And during this time, she also worked to ratify the Geneva Conventions. She also organized and responded to the Johnstown flood and the Galveston hurricane incidences. She also organized and went to Armenia and Cuba for medical relief projects. She resigned from the American Red Cross at the age of 82. And if this wasn't enough, she still was not done with her work. After she resigned from the American Red Cross, she went on to found the National First Aid Association of America, where she worked until age 90. When she died, she died at age 90 in her Glen Echo home in Maryland, April 12, 1912. Clara Barton's boldness and heroism paved the way for generations of women in the fight for equality in a male-dominated society. Her altruism, advocacy, and sanitary medical practices helped set the standards in the field of nursing for all who followed her. Her contributions to the field of nursing and the emergency response management in this country have made a lasting impact on national medical care as a whole. And as she so eloquently put it and lived it, you must never think of anything except the need and how to meet it. Thank you so much.